Okay, if you're going through a breakup, I really need you to lock in with me right now. Literally 30 seconds of your time. Unclench your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Take a really deep breath in. And then let it out with a really big sigh. And then give yourself a little smile, which I know you can do. Okay, now our nervous system's more relaxed. I've got something I want to tell you. You are going to be just fine. In fact, you are going to be more than fine. This is just a chapter. It is not your full story. And if you knew the love and the laughter that is ahead of you, you would not be so sad right now. In fact, I think I'd go as far as to say that you'd actually be excited. So please keep going, because you are literally 3 feet from gold. I love you.
Yeah, that ain't gold, sister. It's fool's gold, and if we're being perfectly honest, you're lucky to be finding even that. You're at the age in life where you've gone through too many breakups and you think that the better man is just gonna be around the corner. But that dude ain't gonna solve your problems, sister. You see, Chad's not a fixer. He's not gonna solve anything or even make your life better. Now, you might get a few weeks of emotional bliss out of the deal, but he's just going to make more of a mess when he ultimately dumps you. This is what happens when you shun the proud members of the illustrious Bottom 95% Club. The remaining dudes know you're going through a breakup and they use that to their advantage. They're gonna make you feel like you've finally struck gold and that you're gonna have your happily ever after, but you're not striking gold. You struck a septic tank. And the sad part is that not only is this the first time you've ever covered yourself in an embarrassing amount of excrement, it's not gonna be the last time either.
Ew.
Okay, the reality of moving to a new place, I just moved to London like 4 days ago, is not knowing anyone. Like, I have like 1 or 2 new friends, and sometimes it can feel really lonely, and I feel like I'm having like a spout of loneliness right now, but because it is a Friday and I'm like, I don't know anyone. I don't really even know what the whole point of this video is. Plus, I should go to bed because I'm like still exhausted from flying here and unpacking and everything. But yeah, if you're 25 and you're lonely or you just moved over in a new city, take it easy on yourself.
Fascinating.
You know, even though I can't really prove it, I can't help but think that this woman is a passport sister. She moved to a city in Europe that's a dangerous hellscape and assumed that she's going to find herself a sophisticated English chap who's going to enrich her life with gentlemanly culture and dry British wit. But there's a problem with that. First off, moving to another country to find a husband is just not smart for obvious reasons. You being an American in London doesn't make you special or even all that unique. It makes you another blank face in the crowd. Second, though I may not be an expert, London is pretty much on the verge of a full-on cultural war. Crime is on the rise, and it's pretty much a plasma grenade inside a pressure cooker that's duct taped to a powder keg with everyone launching bottle rockets at the freaking thing. And you're living right in the middle of it, sweetheart. And finally, you're not going to be making many friends. I mean, how can you? You're living in a new country, and all you want to do is complain on social media about how lonely you are. So sorry, sister. You made an incredibly dumb decision, and it's not going to solve any of your freaking problems.
You blew it. Capiche?
The women who never get taken for granted, those are the women that actually scare men just a little bit, okay? Trust me, this works. It's not because they're loud, it's not because they're mean, and it's not because they're playing games, but what they don't do is beg, chase, explain themselves to grown-ass men who know exactly what they're doing. Because when a man disrespects a woman, most women would cry, they would yell, they would demand answers. Why? Because we were raised to not let anybody disrespect us, and that's fine. But nobody told us how to do it. So we react and we do it loudly, and guess what? That is his comfort zone. If you're yelling, he's thinking, yeah, she's obsessed with me. And if you're crying, he knows he's got control over you. Have you been there? Have you felt that pit in your stomach and for whatever reason you still stayed? Drop me a line, I've done it too. I've seen how this plays out. So here's the real power move. You're not gonna flinch. You're not even gonna warn him, girl. You're just gonna move different. You're not gonna threaten him. You're not gonna send him these long ass text messages. You're just gonna create space. Maserati does not have commercials. And you don't have to advertise your value. You are just gonna live it, because when your standards start mattering more to you than his attention, that's when the games will stop.
Yikes. Well, good luck with all that.
Alright, full disclosure, gentlemen and gents, I'm not really a car guy, so I honestly don't know much about luxury automobiles, but I like to think I know enough about them to say the reason why Maserati doesn't advertise is because they don't need to. They are a luxury brand that caters exclusively to people who can afford them. And sister, you're not a Maserati. You're not even a 2003 Toyota Corolla. I wouldn't even go so far to say that you're a Geo hatchback. Now, I would argue that you're closer to a jalopy, but without any of the charm. But you're trying to advertise yourself as something that you're clearly not. And we see right through it. You will always chase after the dudes you want, and that's because all of the modern women are chasing after him, and you think you're entitled to that guy, and when he makes it clear that you're not, you cry and try to guilt trip him, or you scream at him because you're emotionally unhinged, and then you blame him when he's finally had enough of you. He's not giddy when you act that way. He's annoyed. So the best thing you can do is just shut up and leave him in peace, because it's gonna happen eventually, so you might as well do him a solid and get it over with now.
There's the door. Why don't you check it out?
Nobody really talks about the 3 stages that a guy goes through when you go no contact. And I think the last one will shock you guys. Stage number 1 is the ego brutes. First, he's surprised by the silence. And his ego tells him, she'll be back, it's not over. Internally, he downplays your absence to soothe himself. Step number 2 is the scarcity effect. This is when time passes and your silence really starts to sink into him. And psychology tells us that we value what isn't readily available. So your value is skyrocketing to him. This will trigger nostalgia, regret, and a fear that he won't be able to replace you.
Lady, you do realize that men don't think like women, right? I mean, none of those things are true about dudes in modern relationships. It's basic Jadnomics we're talking about here. The types of men that modern women crave have tons of options. I mean, too many almost. His ego's not going to be bruised if you stop talking to him. He's not really going to care. He's not waxing nostalgic about you guys and wondering why you're not texting him. You're not a Super Nintendo, sweetheart. There's no nostalgia to be had. Now, I will agree, modern women will feel a massive blow to the ego once that man is done with her, and she can't understand why he's not bending over backwards to get back in contact, and it's pretty simple why. You've outlasted your usefulness, and he couldn't care less about your bruised ego. If anything, you going no contact is the best thing you could do for him. Now his time is free to play some Chrono Trigger. I mean, can you blame him? There's like 16 endings to that freaking game, and a man's gotta have his priorities.
Phase number 3. This is the ego spiral. This is when your absence really sets in and he realizes he's not in control anymore. This is normally when you get that I miss you text or some kind of lame excuse of like trying to make contact. Like, oh, I forgot my favorite sock at your place. Can I come get it? Something really lame. And I just want to remind you guys, just because he misses you, that doesn't mean he's magically evolved into the partner you deserve. The man that's for you. He doesn't just miss you, he changes for you. And that is how you will know.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid. Now wait just a minute. And you're ugly, just like your mum.
Well, that's the problem right there, sweetheart. He doesn't miss you. He just remembered how easy of a conquest you were, and he wasn't in the mood to go out and put in the effort to meet a new chick. He hasn't changed because he doesn't have to. No man has to change for you. Sure, the right men will definitely make some changes to his life to accommodate you, but full-on change? Sister, you're forgetting something. Why would any man need to change in order to be with you? Isn't that toxic masculinity? Or is it patriarchy? Or is it the fact that you're so broken and delusional that you think you're absolutely perfect and every man must become perfect in order to be with you? Yeah, I think it's the third one. Men are going to change for you because even if he could, there's nothing worth changing for. You're average looking at best, you're stuck up, entitled, and you think that men think like women. And why would any man want to put himself through that? It just reeks of disrespect and you're just not worth it, darling.
Men love to say I'll protect you, when what they really mean is I'll own you. They hide it under love, under care, but it's control dressed as devotion. Don't wear that, don't go there, don't breathe without me knowing. Protection isn't about the danger out there, it's about keeping you on a short leash in here. Because when they say protection, what they're really saying is possession. Your body, your choices, your freedom, all stamped with their name. It's not safety, it's surveillance.
You don't know what words mean, do you?
I'm gonna level with you, woman. It's kind of hard to process your idiocy when you're trying to figure out how many rings you can shove into your schnoz. You do realize that when men ask you to not dress like an avenue stroller and not go to the ghetto to get drunk, he is trying to protect you by trying to keep you out of dangerous places. That's not oppression, that's concern for your safety. They don't want you putting yourself into a situation where you could suffer serious physical harm. Now, I'm willing to bet an intergalactic space penny that the vast majority of men aren't looking to own you. They don't want you being stupid when you don't have to. And trust me, sister, stupid is the one thing you have in abundance. Now, when you're in a relationship, yes, you do give up some freedoms, but let's just be real here. You have freedom right now, and what are you doing with it? You're posting cringe on social media where you just accuse us of being slave drivers and not much else, which is not only incredibly ignorant, it's also kind of insulting. But when your heart is as bitter and hateful and black as yours, I guess none of us can really be all that surprised.
It's not love, it's ownership. And you pay for it with your silence, with your wings clipped, with your world made smaller every day until you forget what freedom even felt like. He doesn't guard you, he guards himself. And the threat was never out there. It was him.
Like, people talking, they say, huh? What are you talking about?
So stop calling it protection. Protection empowers. Possession erases. And if his safety means you disappear, then what you loved was a cage, and the lock was his hand around your throat. These men ain't shit, and neither is the protection that leaves women buried alive.
And you get a reaction from people who say, huh? What are you talking about?
Protection empowers and possession erases? What in the hell does that even mean, woman? It just sounds to me like the only way you're willing to get into a relationship is if you have complete control to do whatever you want and blame the guy if anything bad ever happens. That's like demanding control of a nuclear submarine and then launching all the nukes and then blaming the president when you end up blowing up the entire planet. Now, I can tell from your cold, lifeless, and blank eyes that you've chosen far too many of the wrong dudes, and now you're blaming us for that. It's not our fault that you kept going after those guys, and it's not our fault that you stayed with them. Most men are willing to protect their women with their lives if need be, and all we ask is that you make some sensible decisions. But apparently giving up the right to put your life in danger is also somehow our fault as well. So fine, do whatever the hell you want, lady. You have the freedom to completely waste your life, and we won't try to stop you. It's not like we could anyway, so go nuts. But for the record, if we ain't shit, then you ain't piss, puke, or pus. Take your pick. It's the only thing that you're gonna do with that freedom you got there anyway.
That's funny because it's so true.
If you want to be like a little bit petty, but also like stay within legal bounds, there's a creator on here. Her name is Kelty Knight. I just saw her video. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and I'm probably gonna end up doing this, and maybe you want to favorite it. The point is, she says she does not believe in the let them theory. She believes in the F them theory. And she points her followers to a book called How to Be a Better Person. Okay, I'm going to put the picture up here for you. And you go on Amazon, you basically just order it and send it as a gift to whoever needs to receive it. And you put as the note in the gift, you say, we all thought you needed this, lots of love, XOXO, whatever, something along those lines. But the point is, we all thought you needed this. So when they receive this How to Be a Better Person book, they get the note that says, we all thought, and they're just gonna sit there wondering, who is we? Who are the we all thought? And they will never know, it'll never get traced back to you, and it's legal. It costs a little bit of money, but for the right person, probably totally worth it.
Not very funny, just plain mean.
Yeah, there's nothing funny about that, woman. If anything, it's just passive-aggressive and mean-spirited. I mean, let's just think about this for a second. If you're with a guy who hurt your fifis and you feel like your only recourse is to buy a book in a petty attempt to own him, then why are you with him in the first place? Why do you feel the need to play these dumbass games? It's not going to teach him a lesson. All it does is show him that you're not willing to be a mature adult, but you are willing to waste money on a stupid prank that will go absolutely nowhere. And you're doing it for a cheap laugh. If this guy is bothering you to that point, then just friggin' leave him. I mean, you're gonna do it anyway, so why bother with the extra steps. Now, I would mail you a step-by-step guide on how to do that, but I honestly think that pop-up book is going to be too intimidating for you, and the simple pictures may be too complicated for your own eyes to handle, so I'm not even gonna bother.
You can switch that limerence that you have over a guy to your future. Because right now, this person that you are kind of obsessing over, it's because there's a loop that's not closing. You're obsessed with finding what's not clocking, right? The loop is not closing. Okay, so you're obsessing over it. When you kind of switch out that loop, right? And you're like, listen, this loop is never gonna close. I'm just gonna let it go. That's the hardest part. Yes, it's easier said than done, but you just gotta let it go, okay? Because you're never gonna close it. When you replace that loop with your future, your business, your passions, that's a loop that also never really closes because you're creating your own path, okay? And you're like, what do I do next? What's the next step? What's the next step? Oh my God, like this. Replace the fucking loop. Replace the loop, please.
Okay. What do you mean?
Well, there's a problem with that plan there, sister. The fact is, you don't have any passions. You have no desires. You don't have any business ideas that don't involve you making spiritual gibberish up to try to sell as a course on your TikTok channel. You don't have a life, and that's why you spend all of your free time making videos where you complain about men and how you're going to get rid of them from your life. And I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but you can't exactly do that when all you do is endlessly bitch about us. There's no changing that loop. You've locked yourself in and you keep going over and over again because you got nothing better to do. And when you make videos like this, you're not begging your fellow sisters to stop thinking about the dudes that didn't want them. You're begging yourself because you're obsessing over the very same dudes that they are. You can't help it. You invested all of your time and emotional energy into them, and all you got out of it was a bitter heart and a brain full of cottage cheese. And I pride myself in being a clever guy, but I don't see how you brooding over the fact that you got run through could be turned into a profitable business model.
And you know what's crazy about this loop? You know what's amazing about this loop, the new loop that you created? Is that God is actually like backing it up. Like the universe actually wants you to have this loop in your mind because this is what's going to propel you forward, okay? The loop, the guy loop, right? Or the girl loop, doesn't really matter, okay? Is going to propel you backward because you're just constantly stuck in the past. You need to switch that loop so it's starting to propel you forward, okay? I have limerence in my fucking future. This coffee has like got me wired.
How about new? You crazy Dutch bastard.
You know, it's probably not wise of me to speak on behalf of the universe, but at the same time, I don't think it's a good idea to just assume the universe is gonna magically fix everything for you. Now, sure, God, the universe, the flying spaghetti monster, or whoever you worship may try to point you in the right direction, but it's up to you to interpret those signs and make the choice to follow it of your own free will. And I hate to break it to you, sister, if you're this manic and unhinged at your age, then there's no helping you. If you look back on that loop of yours, you'll see that there were opportunities that you probably ignored because you thought you were better than you actually are. And now that you're older, desperate, and making sure there's no less than 18 grams of caffeine in your bloodstream at any given time, you're just going to give control over to the universe and expect it to fix all your problems. But therein lies the problem, sweetheart. You're so fixated on the rear view that you refuse to see the road signs right in front of you. And when we consider that modern women are at their most destructive when they're behind the wheel of a car, that particular metaphor makes a frightening amount of sense. Let's give some cheers over to the fine members of the Bounty Board over on Patreon. There isn't a toast that's epic enough to show my gratitude for the generosity of all you fine folks, so let me raise a mug of frosty root beer in your honor, and this one's for you, Bounty Board. Cheers and all hail! And if you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content you're not going to find on YouTube. And that's going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.